Time to do some sketchy shit. Doo-dah, doo-dah. Hope I get away with it. Oh, the doo-dah day.
I know what action means.
So do I, but it's been so long.
Good evening, everybody.
I felt that in my soul.
Joe, I just saw something. Dan, actually, I would like to be over on the other side because the logo hides stuff.
It's your show.
Joe, I don't know if you've noticed when you start the show, you can have it play a video when it goes live.
Yeah.
So yeah, I'm gonna recut an intro, and it also has a
Outro.
Yeah.
The only thing I don't like about that is it starts it like as soon as it goes live. So the folks on YouTube are going to come in partway through
the intro. Oh, okay.
That's why a lot of times, like when I start my show, I'll hit go live and I'll let it go until I see the
your live
update to like how many viewers I have.
Yeah.
And then I'll kick it off.
Well, I'll just run 10 seconds of static at first.
Yeah.
Like I do. Yeah. Oh, well, I'm in a good mood. It may not sound like I'm in a good mood, but I'm in a good mood. I got a cuddle buddy tonight, which I'm happy about.
That is a good thing.
Yeah. She's been away for a while, and I'm glad she's home. And a lot healthier than when she left.
That's always,
a good thing.
Yeah. Of course, she's caught hell from half the family for not telling me she was feeling sick. I failed that mind reading course in high school.
I think when it comes to reading women's minds, we've all failed that course.
Yeah.
No, I can do it. Most of the time, it's you're disgusting. Get away from me.
Yeah.
Yeah. Yeah. No, those check out.
No lie detected.
None whatsoever.
Oh, if y'all guys want to watch something scary, I just posted a video on my Facebook page of customer states
Oh God.
on cars, and I'm seeing stuff that would terrify me to know that that car was running beside me at 70 miles an hour or in
Oh
front.
yeah. Yeah. Some of that stuff is bad.
What was one of them? The seat, the back seat, the armrest in the back seat wouldn't be level. So the guy went and checked, and the back seat wasn't folded all the way up. These are people that are driving.
Okay, so these aren't just people that are driving. These are people who are driving, most likely procreating,
Yes.
and not to get overly political, but also voting.
Well,
So,
allowed to if they had the interest. Yes.
right.
I've seen some. I used to work at I was one of the last full service gas pumpers in my area. That I hate to say it, but we need to do away with self-serve gas stations.
I think it's New Jersey that that's against the law. Self-service.
Yeah.
Jersey and Oregon, I think they might have finally switched.
Never been there, but I have been to Jersey and started to pump my own gas, and the guy had a coronary running out to go, no, 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 I've got to do that.
I think that's New Jersey and unions.
Hey, as a former union member and a full-time union supporter, I can agree with that. It's just maybe if you kind of had a sign for the out-of-towners that are used to, there ain't gonna be nobody to do it for you.
Yeah.
Have a sign go, hey, we do it for you. Just wait.
Mm-hmm.
Did he ask to check your oil or anything while it was running, or did
Oh
he just
no, I was worried about having to call an ambulance for him, and this was before cell phones were invented. So,
But yeah, I mean,
have a
think
full-on
about it.
coronary, huh?
really, I mean, I was about 25, and he looked like he was about 70. Might have been about 50 something, but he looked like he'd had some mileage. So, yeah.
I mean, but think about it. Can I check your oil? He's under the hood. He can look at belts, hoses, check the oil. How better would cars on the road be? Can I check your tires?
They check my tires every time I get my oil changed. They think they're supposed to be 32 pounds of pressure. Supposed to be 42 pounds of pressure.
Oh, look who's here.
So they let the
Andy.
extra air out of the tires every time I get my oil changed. I have to drive around the corner to the pump reinflate the tires
why
until
do
the
you have to
lights
have-
on the dash go out.
Oh, okay.
They don't read the little recommended pressure embossed on the tire.
Well, actually, that's not what's on the tire is maximum pressure. My car calls for 30 in the front, 28 in the back. I run 35 all the way around. Get better
Well,
gas mileage.
I put 40 in mine all the way around, and it said max pressure 42. The lights on the dash still ain't gone out.
That's something off.
It's a Kia.
Well, there's part of the problem.
It used to work really well. I think that particular sensor suite is no longer as sweet as it used to be.
Mm. Batteries are probably dead in the sensors. You got to change the batteries out in those. I mean, you got to change those sensors out.
That'll probably happen when I get new tires.
Oh. So, Zach, do you wish you'd flown to Texas? It was still cool to watch, though. You're muted. You're muted, Zach.
A little bit.
Yeah.
A little bit. My ears don't.
What do you mean your ears don't?
Damn, that sonic boom was loud. That was violent. I will put it this way. One of our team has a house 5.5 miles from the pad.
Yeah.
Their attic door was thrown open, and their sheet rock in their house shuddered, and there was dust in their whole house.
That's
not
not
much from the sonic boom of the return.
Did you notice how all the engines were glowing like they were lit when it come through?
Did you notice how they were all bent and not circles?
Yeah.
All the engine circles looked like circles that about a grade 2 class drew. Maybe grade 1 class. So it's like, woo! And then they lit up and they became proper circles again. And then they turned off and they started like dripping metal.
They may want to rethink entry burn.
Maybe? I don't know, but it was glowing. It was glowing beautifully.
I mean, it flew in and I thought, man, that looks like a ballistic missile coming in. Oh, that's going to destroy the tower.
Mm-hmm. Yeah.
Sam,
Hey,
you didn't
Sam,
miss much. We hadn't.
Let's see. We talked about tire pressures. We talked about the sonic boom from SpaceX's. Oh, there it is. Zach has it.
This is from one of our team. Those engines are not turned on.
They're just warm.
They're just a little warm.
Just a little warm.
Yeah, it was. Yeah.
No, that's not the. Yeah, the engines are. The bells aren't.
Yeah, the engines are hot. The flat part that they're attached to is the bells are just hanging out.
Yeah.
And dribbling.
Yeah, it was insane. Let's see. Will this one open? Do I have to change windows? Yeah. Change window.
Yeah, but to see that thing come in and just hang.
It was on a little bit of fire.
That was just the methane leaking up the sides.
Well, it had fires shooting out the quick disconnect lines all the way to the ground. So the quick disconnect maybe didn't quick disconnect enough.
Well, one thing's for sure. The only way you would have known it was going to do that is to do it.
Yeah.
That was the whole thing about this test.
I mean, you can't get that information from a computer.
No. And they risked their tower to do it. This is from 2 of our pictures. That's why it's a little dark. This was a very quick edit. But it was interesting to see.
Oh, that's cool.
That is cool.
So it shows you how far to the side the booster is coming in.
So that's a montage of it going up and it coming back?
Yeah, from a camera that took pictures by itself.
Sam, I don't know if it's could be classed as okay, but it didn't blow up.
The booster has rolled back to the production site and is in, and they had a big party when they rolled it back. Well, they had a big party the night they landed it with environmental projection, and then they rolled it back about 2 days later and had a big party where they had lined the roads with all the engineers welcoming home, their first child. Now the rocket on the top of it was okay until it hit a really hard ocean. But it didn't really hit it hard. It just went boom when it did. But it's okay.
Well, at that speed, even air is hard.
Honestly, the way it looked, it fell over everything. It was floating, and then it boomed. It's almost like they went, it's okay. It's okay. All right. It survived.
Yeah. I'll do this. I'll turn
because
this down.
It popped on the FTS side.
Yeah, I think spoilers. Yes, the water fountain. Joe, if you want to bring that up. Yeah. Think this is playing? Yeah.
I love how the fog blew away when the engines lit.
Well, yeah, it'll do that.
It should be. Oh, I rewound too far. But yeah, there you go. I just like the graphics. I mean, the rocket's cool, but the graphics are great. Yep, and there goes the fog. Bye.
And that launch sound, the crackling.
Mm-hmm.
Even the space shuttle didn't crackle like that.
Oh, nothing crackles like this. But I was talking to one of my team that was down there, and he's been there for every flight. This was the cleanest sounding launch. He said there. Like, it still had the Starship crackle, but he's like, it was a nice crackle. It wasn't like a you were afraid you were about to die crackle. Through the magic of editing. That was cool to see this time. We've never had blue like that.
Oh, wow.
Looks like a burner on your stove.
Well, in essence, it was.
Yep, just cooking on top of another pan.
And they said one of the grid fins melted.
Oh, yeah, watch this grid fin here. I'll rewind it. So, see how nice and pristine those lines are?
Yeah.
Wait till you see them in about 20 seconds. So we have hot staging, ship ignition, and separation. Those lines not as nice now.
No.
It warped.
That warped just a little bit. Also, most people didn't catch it during the stream. There is Starship peeking behind the grid right here when it plays. Starship peaks by the grid fin in the bottom right corner. And you can see all the engines lit on the ship.
Yeah.
Then it floats away and you can see it again.
Oh, it's graphics. I thought it was real rocket. No, Sam. That is a real rocket.
Yeah, this is all real. That is a 22-story tall building coming back. And I'd like to point out the altitude here. It is 28 kilometers above the surface, and it's going 4,300 kilometers an hour. Watch the speed it kills just with its body. There's no engines lit yet.
Oh, that number's dropping like a rock.
So is the rocket, but
Yeah.
and almost at 5 kilometers, 4 kilometers. Start your engines. 3 kilometers.
That's when I was getting nervous.
Start your engines. 2 kilometers. 1 kilometer. Start. A lot of metal got ripped off the side, but it's okay.
That was probably off the chine.
It was.
And it just
cash, 22-story tall thing. Just casually.
Come to Papa.
Sitting there.
The best part is everyone was freaking out so much. One of the commentators had to be like, just a reminder, everyone, we still have a ship in orbit. We're not done. As you can see, the engineers, there are pictures of employees on the ground crying because no one thought this was going to work. Everyone was certain we were destroying the launch site in 6-9 months worth of repairs.
Yeah.
No, it just hung out. And the chopsticks we now know can hold a extremely overweight booster because I don't think you can start to see here. The frost is already starting to reform on the 2 tanks, and it's only hung there for 2 minutes, and it's already reforming. Some people did some calculations. According to their launch license, they were allowed to land with 60 tons of propellant still on board, of methane and oxygen.
Oh.
They did some amateurs have done the calculations. They did not land with 60 tons. They land with about 550.
Oh my.
So those chopsticks are now holding a booster plus way more propellant than they were supposed to have, and we don't know why. Now, SpaceX hasn't said anything, but there is video of the chopsticks going, They're just a little more bent than normal.
Might have been because they didn't fire the re-entry boosters at 4 kilometers. They waited till 1.
Yeah, but the views from space, we never lost signal from the ship because of Starlink. There was 100% video feed for an hour and a half. We never, and then this was it coming in, getting ready to come in. And then it hits the atmosphere, does a wiggle, hits the atmosphere.
Oh, that is, I think, the most beautiful thing you can ever watch right there.
Yeah.
The plasma.
I like the side view because you can see the streaks of the plasma, but it's so clean. I said it on the last flight. Wait, is it paused? I was like that left image. That's not paused. That thing's traveling 22,000 kilometers an hour. That's an active image. But it looks like a still.
Yeah.
And I'm like, that's insane. And they went to this view. We had a little bit of burn through again.
Not as much.
Not as well. On that one we did. It didn't blow up the bottom half of the flap, but we definitely burned through the entire hinge. So that's not going to get fixed until the next flight, or 2 flights from now. But they've already redesigned the ship to get rid of that issue. The bottom ones look like they held out. The top ones have been the issue. But you can see the glow on the heat shield tiles.
Mm-hmm.
And then it comes down.
And the sparks flying off of the damn fin.
And we're at 2 kilometers. And they're landing in the Indian Ocean, so it's dark. Because that's the furthest they can fly without basically passing over a major populated area with it. And then they ignite. The ship does its flip. So now the ship's now vertical again. And they'll cut to another feed. There's the ocean. They touch the ocean, and the camera's going to go green here in a minute.
Yeah, that's where it went under the water.
Yeah, that's underwater.
Okay.
Splash.
And then it fell over. And then this is how close to on target they were. That's a buoy that they put out where their target was. And then they blew it up. We're all waiting for them to release the footage of the ship coming down glowing red hot from the buoy. But
yeah, that wasn't a. That looked like the FTS went off.
yeah, well, it shouldn't have been armed. It sure looks like it, but I don't think SpaceX has said they FTS'd it.
And they won't, because then they'd have to say there was an FAA investigation. Well, why did you blow it up? Do you think we want to leave our proprietary stuff floating in the ocean for a Russian trawler to grab?
Yeah.
This
Well,
is
you know,
true.
Russia and China had a ship over there as fast as they could.
Oh yeah, I'm sure.
Well, next time they can land on it and blow it up then.
Yeah, they ended it with some other footage of the catch. There we go. So these are cameras on the tower. Just, super casually coming in. It's not landing on the grid fins. It's landing on two little pegs. You can see the little hook on the side there. That's what it's landing on. That's it.
Huh.
This is from 5.5 miles away.
And a good zoom.
And a good zoom.
It's just trying to comprehend that.
Yeah, yeah, and then they had a graphic.
And then check the graphic, Dan.
I see.
That's their Mechazilla graphic. So he partied a little bit for the rest of the broadcast.
Don't blame them.
But yeah, kind of insane. See all the white tanks? Yeah, if they had missed, those all still have propellant. Well, not full, but traces.
Well, from the angle it came in, well, right before the engines lit, it was supposed to hit the water just out on the beach.
Nope. The decision point is during boost back. So this is the first rocket SpaceX has done that it will, from my understanding, it will permanently, for all of its history, be programmed to ditch. They check 1,200 systems, and if they are all green, someone manually has to basically enter a key and turn it to say, go to launch site. There, it is that manual of a command. Then the ship has to tell them it received the command while the booster is boost backing. Where is it? Here, where the engines are running. So right after this, when it flips around and fires, they've got about 30 seconds that they have to do all those checkouts. They fly drones around the launch tower to check it. And they have to enter the manual command. The booster then does checkouts. The booster can override the human and say, I ain't going back. Not going to happen. And the reason they have to make the decision then is the boost back burn is two different lengths. One brings it to ocean, one brings it to tower. There's no abort mode after. Once they're locked to tower, they're locked to tower. And it's like, I wouldn't be locked to tower.
Even Falcon is not locked to.
I'm sure if they fired the engines, they could ditch to the ocean, and they may have a protocol to do it, but it's not officially part of their programming.
Yeah.
So this is the decision point right here that they have to decide. So they've only been off the pad for 3 minutes, and they have to inspect it with cameras, being like, yeah, we're good to try to catch the thing.
Well, they already had the drones in the air
Yep.
And it probably takes a drone 30 seconds to get from.
And there, the booster's picking up speed because now it's coming backwards. So it doesn't null out, and there's the shutdown. So here's where they make the final decision with the last 3 engines. So the longer they burn, if they stay burnt long, there, it would have aborted about 6 seconds earlier if it was going to the ocean. Or if it had lost an engine. That was the other thing. We don't know if it loses an engine. Can it still
Make it. And somebody got a video of the hot stage.
Yeah, they got video of the hot stage coming down. The ISS got video of launch and boost back from the station.
I bet that was cool.
It was like a contrail streak, but it was neat. The second stage was tracked from Florida again, from south of here, in the Keys. It was visible in Houston. In Houston, you could have a streak perfectly across the horizon of the launch. But
Well, it wasn't fully daylight at Houston on launch.
it would have been a hair darker than this. Just a hair. But yeah.
Because at launch, I mean, you only had about a half sun.
Yeah, it wasn't. You saw it in the second frame or second shot. Once it's off the ground.
This is just amazing.
It's insane.
What is? I mean, basically,
There you go.
there it is. I mean, it's sun wasn't even up.
Mm-hmm.
No, sunrise was 7:26 local time.
And launch was 7:25.
Yep.
That's just unreal. And somebody said if you hollowed out Super Heavy and Starship, it would be a shipping container for the Saturn V with the launch tower.
Say that one more time, Joe Doug.
If you hollowed out Super Heavy and Starship, it would be a shipping container for the Saturn V, including the launch tower, is how big it is. Saturn V would fit inside it.
Yes. Yeah. Just. Yeah. It'd be like a golf koozie on top.
Yeah.
And then a little bit of height at the top. But the insane thing is, because it all worked, Flight 6 is authorized unless SpaceX wants to change something. So depending how the tower and the pad are, we could be, I would say, at earliest 30 days out from Flight 6.
Not
But
bad.
they need to hot fire the booster, and they need to stack and wet dress, and they already have a launch license. So it's just scheduling all the road closures and air and marine closures, which they can do that in 24, 48 hours notice.
Now, here's the big question. Why did it move from we can't get all the paperwork done till the end of November to October 15th?
There was a big one, and it's one that most people didn't catch on to because I didn't catch on to it either. SpaceX won in court. The EPA or the EAP, EPA, whatever, one of the lawsuits about the turtles got thrown out. And then the next day it was, oh, wait, you're launching in 3 days. And then it was like, oh, shoot, the FAA is like in agreement to this. So because the FAA had said there was this lawsuit and they said it would take up to 60 days to run an investigation on the lawsuit, that's why it was end of November. But then the lawsuit got thrown out.
So there's no need to investigate.
Exactly. So then they could just
Apparently there was nothing to investigate.
Yeah. Well, there's a lot of things that are unknown. Like, I'm surprised there wasn't an investigation on the sonic boom But the FAA put out a new update the night before launch saying how loud it was going to be. It was violently painful for like Port Isabel, South Padre, that boom. The people that were at 3 miles need hearing protection. Like that, if you have a heart issue, that probably could jump your heart. It is that much of a bang. It cut out on some cameras. Like it peaked the mic. So it's forceful.
And just to be a smartass, as for the turtles, seems like Flo and Eddie settled out of court. You're not old enough to get that reference, Zach. I'm sorry.
No, but I can
Zach,
imagine.
That picture you showed of Starship launching and the booster coming back. If Elon had his way, there'd be a damn booster hanging on the launch pad or hanging over the launch pad for the rocket to get out of the way.
Yeah. Well, there's a lot of questions now that it's like, okay, this works. It worked once. Now, SpaceX normally takes that as it works enough. But there is a big question on what that future testing and rapid iteration will look like.
Yeah, that is a serious question.
You know, like we're not going to trust this thing landing like we do Falcon 9 for a very long period of time. And even then, I don't think we're ever going to trust it like we do Falcon 9 landing on a drone ship.
Now, that picture location, is that from
the restaurant?
Roadblock?
Yeah, the old Roadblock.
Yeah.
Yeah, this was the closest you could put cameras that you didn't want to say sayonara to. There was another site we could have put cameras at that you were directly told if this thing explodes, you're not getting access to your cameras until we mail them back to you in pieces.
Ooh.
Which was the parking lot across the street. They didn't open any options for on launch site cameras this time. They haven't done that since Flight 1. They learned hard on Flight 1. Don't let people put GoPros 150 feet from the rocket.
Well, Claire, I'm going to tell you something. You know, you are doing what's called spamming. So guess what? No, you don't. You have been blocked. I ain't afraid to use the band hammer.
I'm just trying to figure out which one of us was Jessica.
I thought we were referring to the Starbase stuff.
Yeah.
But yeah, it'll be interesting to see what the next testing, like what's the next big milestone, right? Like we need to deploy stuff in orbit, but they already do that differently. But
well, we got to get Starship all the way to the ocean without a hole in the flap.
In the flap. Well, we need to get Starship all the way back to the Gulf. Well, actually, we need to go to orbit for 12 hours and then get it back to the Gulf. So, I think that
David is returned for the second band hammer of the night.
Yeah, well, we ain't ashamed. We will. I'll slap you down, bitch. I mean,
it's all right. We're well over 15 seconds into the show.
Someone's consistent, yeah. But yeah, it's insane.
Hey, we were trained by Russian bots. We know how to use the band hammer. I mean,
you don't see them often anymore.
They're all fighting in Ukraine.
Here's Tony Sanchez.
Hey Tony, you forgot to hit control on one of those.
Tony
Yeah.
failed at doing Command V and just typed V on one of his messages.
Oh, okay. But hey, Tony with an I means they're female. So,
Oh,
Does
Cliff's
it?
back.
I know a male with a Tony with an I.
well, as I'm going to say, I ain't afraid to do this, bitch.
And another one
Oh.
appears as you say it. This is kind of funny.
Yeah, it is.
Carl,
the
don't post
take the
anything.
previews.
Carl,
Yeah,
if
Carl,
the
don't comment. For the love of God.
Yeah, please, Carl. You'll get banned accidentally. And
See, this is what I do when we have that. I just go, so where's everyone watching from? Let us know in the comments. And then you just flood them out.
Yeah, well, we only have 7 people here. And 3 of them are. Oh, God, here they go.
yep. Well, you got to admit they're
Persistent.
somewhat
why it
entertaining
happened,
for
right?
a brief instant.
You know why it happened, right? We said Elon 3 times in a row.
Elon Musk, okay? And that's how you run them off, too.
Is it? Well, I guess nowadays. Did you see the video of their reaction? Of Elon's reaction with his brother?
Do.
Where is it?
Hey, we've only got 20 minutes of show left. If that's all we can do to make everyone's night is to ban people from ever showing up again.
Yeah. I'll be back in a minute. Too
Oh,
much
he's going
damn
to get
coffee.
the actual band hammer.
Yeah, I did think same thing Joe Doug did was left or right click rather than click on the 3 dots. It's all right. I used to play Doom. I can click all day.
Never played that.
It was kind of fun. I'm not even looking at what they're saying anymore. Somebody shows up with multiple comments, they get banned. Do.
Yeah, I just remembered I actually have moderator on here under my NDCD account. So
Hey, just let me know. I don't have to do everything around here. Here we go again.
hide. Only thing I can't do is ban.
Oh, I can do that.
I can put them in a timeout for 24 hours.
I can ban them forever. What I'd like to do is send the Secret Service to their house to terminate with extreme prejudice.
Mm-hmm.
Away with thee. Oh, we do need to throw out a programming note, Dan.
Yeah.
There will be no Stupid O'Clock or Last Man Standing next Thursday night.
This is true. We will be either setting up or some folks will be en route.
That's so sad.
Yeah, but Jack, you got a badge. You just come on up.
It wouldn't be sad if you give up wanting to hibernate for 3 weeks. Just
I'm pushing myself to. A lot of people tomorrow. I'm going to take a month to hibernate.
Well, come hibernate with us.
I have to push myself to see like 75,000 plus people tomorrow.
Well,
But it'll
after
be
that, it should be easy to see 150, 200. All you got to
What's
do is get off
tomorrow?
your ass and get yourself from Florida to what, Atlanta or Chattanooga, one.
True. Tomorrow is when I will go on a journey through many eras for 3.5 hours.
Oh, Lord, he's playing video games.
No, even better.
He's writing a video game?
No, Taylor Swift.
Oh.
That
One day. One day you're going to have to learn how to adult.
I can adult just fine. I adulted with the amount of money I spent on the ticket.
I don't know. No, I'm going to have to disagree with that remark right there. Any money you spent on that person is definitely wasted.
No, all I'll say is it was a 4-digit number.
Oh, God. Stupidity compounded on arrogance.
And I'm in the 3rd highest row in the stadium.
Nosebleed seats as well.
But it's a good
Remember,
thing.
she's going to be that tall. So you waving and holding a sign, she will not see.
You have to remember, everyone sees me. No, I'm kidding. No, it was a resale ticket, and it was the cheapest ticket, and I got a good deal on it because I got it at 1/3 of what resale was going for anywhere in the U.S. But yeah,
Good Lord.
Wasted money is still wasted money, Zach.
it's a once in a lifetime. It's like Woodstock.
No, it's not.
It's my Eras Woodstock. It was like, oh, do you remember the Eras tour? Yes.
I know people that actually went to Woodstock. It's a whole lot different. And I'm not
I'll
talking.
actually remember.
I'm not talking about the imitation thing that happened in the 90s. I'm talking about the 60s.
I know somebody that went to Woodstock. Don't remember a damn thing about it.
Exactly.
They had fun.
I'm going to remember my evening.
I'm sure you will. You're going to remember it all the way to trying to replace that 4 figures in your bank account that you blew on what you could have gotten more out of a music video.
Hey, Dan, was my description of the person that went to Woodstock pretty much the best description of the 60s Woodstock?
No, actually, some people did. Some people avoided the brown acid.
Don't eat, what was it? Don't lick the brown paper or something like that?
No, it was don't take the brown acid.
Good to know. I won't do that.
In your case, I don't think it'll make a difference. You've already drunk the Kool-Aid.
I went to who was it? Hart, Loverboy, and somebody else. I sat up in the top row. I got high.
Well, yeah. I had
The
nosebleed
content.
seats for Donovan and Yes. And believe me, I didn't have to take any extracurricular substances.
You're not
Smoke
allowed to do that
rises.
anymore.
Say what?
You're not allowed to do that anymore.
Shit.
You try that shit in Atlanta, the cops will arrest you for not smoking. Something wrong with this boy. He ain't doing nothing. Oh
I'm
God,
trying to see if I can-
ELO in the round. People were passing stuff all around the stadium.
Look who just popped in. Do you recognize that name, Dan?
Mind Twist. I've seen it before, but no, I don't. Panic at the
No.
Disco. Yes, you have my
That's our
approval.
Heather. That's our Heather.
Heather,
I'm very
Wow.
jealous
Back,
that you
we
got to
miss
see
you.
Panic.
we
at the-
miss you.
I want to see Panic at the Disco.
I want to see Black Sabbath, but they've all retired from
Yeah,
touring.
same thing with Panic at the Disco. They broke up.
I would love to see Pink Floyd, especially the fight after in the middle of the show.
And the view's not as bad as you say. Look at the view. It's loading slowly. And I know this is safe to show, Joe Dog, because it's not from anything official. It's from social. That's a great view.
Of a postage stamp.
Is that your seat?
Basically. I might be a couple rows higher. Every stadium's different, but
Well, at least you're center of the stage.
yeah. See, look.
Yeah, you can see the ants almost full size.
That's what the big screen's for. Now I've got Taylor this month. I've got Pink next month. I've got Coldplay next summer.
Now, I would like to see Pink.
Pink would. I'm excited. I have
I
four.
am not touching that line. This is not the green room.
Mm-hmm.
Panic better be back. They said that about One Direction, but they waited too long. That's not happening now.
Oh,
Nope.
who was the guy that just passed away?
Liam.
Got thrown off a balcony or something. Well,
Fell.
conspiracy theorists are saying he got thrown off of that balcony, and I'm going, I've been on balconies, and it's kind of hard to fall across that guardrail.
Especially 3 stories up. But I've read some like Twitter threads or X threads of people that were staying at the hotel, and apparently he was in the lobby and seemed very intoxicated. Bye, Carl.
Good night, Carl.
Seemed very not normal. I went back to his room, but he had live streamed only like a few hours earlier. With someone, I can't remember who, but he was around people. So either something happened very last minute or there was foul play involved in it. But he also canceled his new album or delayed his new album like 3 days earlier. 3-4 days earlier. So there's a lot of questions around it. I wanted to see One Direction. They would have been a good show. But I doubt we would see. I mean, he left. He was the first one that left, and One Direction went on and had many more years of success. So maybe we would see something where they just build in like a proper tribute to him in every show. But I think it'd be a lot harder to see a sooner reunion. I think if anything, it's going to be like 25 years reunion, not 10-year kind of thing. Like what ABBA's done.
10 years sounds more reasonable than doing it next year. But yeah, 2025 does sound like.
Well,
Let's see if we can get the walkers across the stage.
Well, how many years has the Rolling Stones been doing their farewell tour?
Ask Cher.
75, as far as I can tell.
Ask Cher. That's another show I want to see. Oh, Cher. Yes.
How many husbands has she outlived?
Enough to do a 8th or 9th farewell show. She was at the Victoria's Secret fashion show yesterday.
That woman ain't got no secrets. And I like her.
Hey, Cher's what? Deep in her 70s, or she crossed the
78. I want to
I
say
would say about 84.
78. May 20th.
78. Okay.
46.
I'm sorry, Heather. Hell has already frozen over.
And she's only had 2 husbands. One that lasted 4 years. Well, the marriage lasted 4 years, and the other marriage lasted 11. But she hasn't been married since 75.
That's when her and Greg, was it
Greg.
Bono.
Greg?
Sorry. No, Greg was after. Yes.
Yeah,
Greg was after.
she was married to Sonny for a long time, although they were separated for a long time too. But and then Greg, I thought she had hooked up with. Well, I'm sure she hooked up with several others after that because I've read Rolling Stone a time or two. But
Yeah, they her and Greg have a kid.
Yeah.
Well, her new boyfriend is 38.
More power to him.
Hey,
she's just turning back time.
Oh, to be a 16-inch gun.
Trying to think who else I'd want to see.
Dan, you got that reference.
yes. I was just going, how long did they have to clean the barrel of that thing to get the smear off of it?
How many volunteers did they had to call out to do it?
And bring out the DNA swabs, boys.
Yeah, Don, exactly. And guess what, guys?
It's that time.
Yep, it's time to wrap it up, and we'll see y'all Saturday night. I may start Stupid O'Clock at 10 on Saturday.
Feel free.
And do a 2-hour. That way, that gets you out of Last Man Standing an hour early.
Okay. Not a problem. The only reason I wanted to be an app in the show an hour early tonight is I've got to take Lindsay to the X-ray techs tomorrow morning. My alarm clock goes off at 6.
Yeah. All right. We will catch everybody next time.
See y'all later, folks.
All right. Good night.
Good night, everybody.
I have slept the surly bonds of earth and danced the skies on laughter-silvered wings. Sunward I've climbed and joined the tumbling mirth of sun-split clouds and done 100 things you have not dreamed of. Wheeled and soared and swung high in the sunlit silence. Hovering there, I've chased the shouting wind along and flung my eager craft through footless halls of air. Up, up the long, delirious, burning blue, I've topped the windswept heights with easy grace, when never lark nor even eagle flew. And while with silent, uplifting mind. I've trod the high, untrespassed sanctity of space. Put out my hand and touched the face of God.
Good night, everybody!